The PowerPoint slides are up here. But you can run it because it's instruction for me.
Yeah. It's light too.
We have our scouts and people who are resting. If you're not doing the zoom in or out on this thing, where's the little flapper thing? Jan, where's the flapper? What you can do is when the speakers there's something being facing that way. So you get audience.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. When the speaker's talking, use this to practice now if you want. Zoom in and out.
We're gonna add one more table here. Okay.
I got some file.
Good. That's a good view too. I like the symmetry. That's a good view too. I like the symmetry. And backlight is too bad. Hey, Raymond, how's it going?
So all my relatives getting to the
Do you need anything? I guess the presentation.
You know, it's right there.
around the lawn.
Yeah, when you get to that point.
Right here.
Yeah. The next one, hold it up. And you get. And they're property across the room.
Kristen is Taylor Field Lighthouse. Connie is Connie came in last November.
Well, Kristen had done the patriotic festival. For paparazzi.
Yeah.
And I tried to get in touch to see if she wanted to do archery call.
Oh, nice.
But she's never returned my call.
Oh, I'll check with her. She might have a conflict. She does stay busy.
Yeah.
Briefly, 1 minute about the event. At that point, you and Janet.
You're gonna be the band of white.
You'll be the man of white.
Band of white.
You and I,
Band of white.
They don't know what to do. Yeah.
hi Susan.
Take care of the rest of their lives.
I'm hungry today. Some days I don't get hungry.
Did you order already?
Not yet. I'll wait for her to come back.
But as you're flying over, you can see these.
Can you actually tour it? Or is it?
Not right now, but before the pandemic. It's very cool. Okay, it's now officially noon. Can we convene? Let's start with some introductions here because we do have a couple visitors. Norman Jones.
Adam Strasnicki.
Susan.
Oh, and she's smiling.
She's still nothing.
Mike Goble. David Johnson. Renee Wesson.
Bill Eichbach, I'm assistant governor.
Yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
You're really going to this your daughter.
No, go ahead. Don.
Joni Thompson.
Okay, the one visitor we do have is Roy Mast. We're going to be talking about him in a second. He's a valuable contributor to our club. Not yet a club member, but we'll talk about more about that. So we have is, Ming, could you introduce yourself?
Hey, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Min. My last name is Zens. Currently, I'm a faculty at University of Texas Medical Branch at Galveston. I am interested in learning more about Texas because I moved to Texas about 2.5 years ago. And I have the honor to visit Jeanette and Norms the past weekends. I just want to know that thank you very much for having me here. And I'm grateful that I can participate in your Rotary Club meetings through Zoom. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, you have the honor, you win the prize for the person who came the furthest from Galveston. And that's what we're doing is we're hitting her club up, help ours. And the good thing would be if clubs can get along, wouldn't that be just? Why didn't anyone think of that? Let's one that slides.
Hey, Norm,
Yes,
do you have any idea where our name tag is going?
yes, that's a good
We're
point.
starting to meet in person again.
That's right. That's a good point. Note to self, bring name tags. Thank you.
You may not have them up there, but we got the box.
We have a lot.
Mine's in there.
Okay.
It is. Well, we have to David's point, we have to get name tags and we have to get new names because like in any organization, some people have gone and some people have new.
Got a new one there.
We have several new ones. We've actually gained, in the last 6 months, we've lost a couple. We have a net gain of probably like 3 or 4.
Excellent.
So that's not bad. So this is our meeting. We'll talk about the pledge of allegiance, the prayer, club activities. The main thing here is our leadership. Talking about what's going on in the club. What we tested is going to be a board meeting, and it was invited to that. We'll talk about some of the club business there. But so we'll have our meeting from now until 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, we'll have a board meeting right here, so people hang around. Next slide. Okay, let's start with pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Would you do a short prayer?
Let us pray. Gracious and Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this day. We give you thanks especially for being able to meet in person and see each other face to face and fellowship once more. And we pray that you watch over this club, prosper this club, and grow this club, and watch over our dear home, our community of Bastrop, Texas. And Lord, bless us food for the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to your service, that we can always seek to put service above self. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
You do very good at that. You should have done this as a living.
I gave a sermon on Sunday.
Okay, next one. She's in practice. One of the things we try and have is we have programs, compass of our programs on things of local relevance. So we had TechStot, we had Smithville Chamber, Club Assembly. We had our booth at the Rotary Festival. We actually attracted some people to our club as a result of that. We had a social event. Today is this. Next Tuesday is going to be Team Ascension. Big deal in Bastrop County. We're going to be talking about club scholarships. And our club has given out 4 scholarships. And the district, through their generosity, through the foundation giving, which is another story, later on, like here in Chapman, we'll talk about where does that money go that you chip in. In case you're wondering, it actually goes to good purpose. That's about foundation stuff you're spending on this money. So I get suggestions for that projects are invited. Next slide. This is one of our projects. This is an example we want to be relevant to the community. So it's basically the bench is going to be at that the bike rack project, and then this is a student project. One of the things with the scholarships, students are supposed to do a project as part of getting that $5,000. The student project for this is going to be make 6 bike racks instead of the basketball, which are all the members. The whole subject of projects is going to be a subject for our club assembly in a few weeks. Next slide. This is one of the things for that project, which is computer design. And one of the organizers of that is this is Professor Roy Mass back there. So he has a couple of students here. This is their scholarship grant. And these guys, Roy has been very instrumental. He set up this class in its place. They've made incredible progress on that. And they're using the computer design, to learn stuff, and then to help our club. So it's a twofer. We help people get meaningful careers. You can make a living doing CAD and CAM, and they're helping us. So it's a twofer. Yesterday, some of them went to Texas State Technical College. It's extremely likely that these are deserving students, and they'll get a free ride there and get real careers. So anyhow, let's got to deal with that next. This is the bike racks. This was made by another one of our, that was made by a student, and that was done by graph paper. This is done by computer design. Now, what you're going to do is Mr. Mass is going to have a class tomorrow afternoon. He's going to make this better. You can have with students. There's certain factors to this, there's requirements to this. So Roy's going to teach with the students at his facility and get people better at that. Next slide.
That's supposed to look like the bridge, the downtown bridge.
That's right. Oh, that's what the old iron. The deal was to make a custom thing, and the mayor of Bastrop actually came up with this concept of we need bike racks. We need 6 bike racks to be Bastrop becoming Bastrop walkable. We could write out checks. Our club could write out checks and buy commercial bike racks. We just went. They want to make it look like this and that. We got together with Fubals and Bastrop was bureaucracy. They said they'd like to have all these. So we're 6-foot version, 7-foot version, and emulate, as Mike said, the longer version will emulate like the bridge more. So anyhow, let's deal with that. Next slide. We need help for the new banner. This barbecue showdown is going to be kind of a big deal. We're going to need lots of volunteers. This is an old plug for Beverly. We're going to need lots of people for this thing. We need lots of people, and you have to get to the side. Keep going to the side. More Jim. We need lots of. One of the things is we have a donation for the auction, so we're going to be putting these banners out. So we're talking with the city of Bastrop to put up banners to promote our event. So we have this in 2-foot by 4-foot. This is a 3x6. So we're going to put up 4x8 banners around Bastrop and Smithville to kind of promote this event. Let's talk about.
Well, why don't you have 2 good bands on Saturday instead of advertising the names of the band?
We have another version. We have another version. The flyers has. We have 2 versions of this. To your point, we have one. To David's point, we have 2 good bands on this, and the other one is bands are a big deal. So what David's arranged for is a very good band. They'll be jumping over the choir, and the other is
Wyatt Ellis.
Wyatt Ellis. So the idea of having 2 bands is they'll be able to play continuously without that nonsense of seeing they stop and start, stop and start. So to your point, we have the flyers have both. This particular version of the banner is designed to have smaller text, and so it doesn't have a name. So again, what I'm saying is, please think about donations. Like Lost Pines tell you this, think about events experiences. Look at businesses. We need help with publicity. Covert events not good. We need help with logistics supplies. Next slide.
No.
Oh,
It's your.
okay. Okay, you don't need any kind of, you don't need any kind of projector, do you?
So,
You're up. I went through this quickly.
oh, look at that.
Lauren, can I get a copy of that banner that has the name of the band on it?
Sure. There was a copy. You want physical
Yeah,
band?
the electronic.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think the band was fired. Oh, that's happy. I won.
I'm Phil Estrike, your assistant governor for this year, and my chief responsibility today is to introduce Beverly. And I hope I don't get in trouble for doing it.
Yeah, although he said he's got some stuff.
I threatened her. That'll come at the end, as I sit down or get
Yeah,
kicked out.
okay. I'll put gum in your seat.
That's it. Beverly is a true rose of Central Texas, having been born and raised in Rosebud, Texas. After high school, she studied at Baylor University and, appropriate color for, the University of Texas, Austin. And received her BS degree and certificate in physical therapy from the University of Texas Health Science Center in Dallas. Beverly practiced for 35 years in private practice in Rosebud, Clifton, Rockdale, and Texas, specializing in orthopedic and geriatric care. None of us can relate to geriatric care, I'm sure. In this room. Beverly is a first-generation Rotarian, joined the Rotary Club of Rockdale in 2006, serving as foundation chair, and was honored with the Rotarian of the Year award in 2010, 2011, and 2012. They had to get rid of her after that. After retiring and relocating to Bell County, Beverly joined the Rotary Club of Temple South in 2013. She served Temple South as the president 2016-17, as well as service committee chair, and served on the club scholarship selection committee and various fundraising committees to the present date. Beverly has served District 5870 as DAPS Grant Committee Chair, Assistant Governor, Global Grant Scholarship Selection Committee, and the District Foundation Gala Committee. Beverly is a Paul Harris and Polio Plus Society member, a White Hat member, a Major Donor +3 member, a Bequest Society +4 member, and most recently has received the Citation for Meritorious Service Award from the Rotary Foundation. You can ask Mr. Chapman about all those things when he's here.
He's gonna be here in about a month.
Yeah.
Does good stuff.
Beverly married her high school sweetheart, Larry, who is a pharmacist and owner of the pharmaceutical benefit management company in Belton. They have 2 children, Matt, who's deceased, and Lauren and husband Aaron, who live in Belton, and have blessed Beverly and Larry with the first grandchild, Cohen. Now, for the part I'm getting kicked out for. And she'll tell you this, so I know I'm not in trouble. When Beverly asks you to do something, you do it, and you do it right away. My habits are generally, I do it when it needs to be done. And so we've had interest, it's been great. It's not been a problem. I've gotten 2 texts from her saying, "You're the only AG that has not registered for this yet." So I can tell you, when Beverly asks you to do something, you do it. It's my pleasure to introduce Beverly.
Great. Well, wow. Well, yeah, I am a little anal. I am a lot of little things, but I'm very proud to be a Rotarian. And but I need to ask Adam, were you in the Rockdale Club at one time?
I missed you about 1 year.
Yeah. I recognize.
I joined in 13.
Okay, I left and what a great replacement. What can I say? I heard, because you were president of the club at one time.
I was, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It's a good club.
Yeah,
great
big
club.
club. It's a very-
President-elect for this one.
Yeah, he's a great Rotarian. So when I saw as president-elect, I thought, I know he's been president. I know he's been president. So, well, congratulations down here.
And we started a great casino night. It was terrific. fun.
Yeah, you always conflicted though with Foundation Gala or
Cameron?
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
We always got mad at y'all because y'all were staying and taking care of business at home and we were trying to sell. And it's good to see Susan. Susan and I kind of went through the ranks together. So good to see you too. Yeah. Thank you very much for allowing me to come today. being a Rotarian is really special, but being here today with you celebrating Rotary is what it's all about. And so thank you. It's a very special time for me. I want to share a couple of things early on. Back in February, got it? Back in February, normally your district governor-elect gets to go to this grand place, celebrate with 534 other district governors from around the world. We come together, and it had been in San Diego, it was going to be in Orlando this past year. Well, guess what happened? COVID. And fortunately, and if you will, this is District Governor-elect Shannon Coleman. She's here with us today.
So sorry, I was wandering around community gardens looking for a person.
So anyway, we're glad you're here. And she is my traveling buddy, and I so appreciate her. Anyway, she's getting to go to Orlando, and guess what I got to do? Because I love each one of you so very much, I spent 11 days on Zoom at the International Pacific. But that's because I love you, and I love Rotary. So anyway, it was not what I had hoped for, but it certainly was spectacular. And the great part about it was I'd been told by my PDGs, oh, Bev, just wait until they announce the thing. It's dramatic, and it's just very an emotional moment. I thought, okay, yeah, I got it. Well, guess what? When Shaker Mehta is our international president, and he is from India, wonderful fellow, and he is a true Rotarian. And when he stood there and with this big dramatic, background, he announced, "Serve to change lives." That was our theme. And literally, it was a moment of real emotion for me for two things. When I heard the theme, I said, this is really what Rotarians are about anyway. This is going to be a very successful year if we will concentrate on our theme. In fact, I was so caught up, and it was about at 8:10 in the morning because we were on Zoom from like sometimes 7 in the morning up till 9 o'clock at night. And it was a crazy time. But when we heard the theme, I just was full of emotion, and I literally started crying because I knew this was my year to be governor. Because this is kind of how I have been all my life. I came from two parents who were very servant oriented, and it was just a great moment. But after I got to thinking about it and thinking about the theme, and you do have our banner, right? Our theme banner.
There's one behind the curtain.
Okay. It's coming. It's fine. I thought about it, and I thought, you know what though? When you look at the theme, the key word here is change. It's about change and what Rotarians do. But the great part about it is not only does Rotarians change other lives, but guess what? Rotary changes our lives as well. And that's really kind of what I want to talk to you about today. There's two things I want to talk to you about. There's hopes for the district that are very important to me, and I want to share my hopes with you. But I also want to talk about change, and we need to talk about change. It's very important. My first hope for you as a district is to help increase your awareness and purpose of our foundation. I know that you guys have heard about foundation probably every time a governor's come. But I want you to understand that we have a very wonderful district. I don't know if you realize, but back 3 years ago, our district was the number 11 district in the world in foundation giving. At that year, we gave $1.2 million in some way or another through annual fund, endowment, polio plus, $1.2 million. From one district of 2,200 people. That's the kind of difference that we're making. And people say, oh, but Bev, I can't give a lot. I don't care what you give. If you give $25, if you give $50, $100, $1,000, whatever you're giving, I can promise you it's making a huge difference in somebody's life. It may not impact 40 people, but if it impacts one, what does it matter? That's the difference. So, when I think about it, I've been very lucky. I've gotten to travel the world with polio, with wheelchairs because of Rotary. We've put latrines into schools so that young women could go to school where otherwise they wouldn't get to go to school. We've actually built schools. We've built medical centers with money that you have given, whether it was that 25, 50 or whatever. We've made differences. But as I got to thinking about it, so many people in our district, or so many Rotarians were saying, you know, Bev, why do we always have to give to the foundation? Because we're not seeing the difference. And I said, okay. So guess what? This year, our district is going to sponsor a global grant in the USA. It's wonderful. And it's going to be the Navajo Water Project. It's a wonderful project. I don't know if you realize, but I thought everybody in America had clean water. No such thing. There are many areas in the US that don't have clean water. And one of them is in the Dilcon area outside of Flagstaff, Arizona. And these Navajos are having to travel miles every day just to get clean water. And the sad part about it is that on a daily basis, in a family of 5 to 11 people per family household, they're getting to use about 6 gallons of water a day. That's per household. I'm not talking about per person. I don't know if you know what the average use of water is per American a day. Anybody have a guess?
40 gallons.
Nope. A little less. 100 gallons of water a day per person. Per person, not per family. So this was, to me, a no-brainer. Why are we not helping our own Americans with a global grant? And so we've been working over the last 6 months, and we are now partnering with 3 international districts in Australia, Argentina, and Canada, as well as 5 districts within the continental USA in Tennessee, Arizona, California, Texas, and Kansas. And with that, guess how much money we've raised? $283,500, and we are going to provide 63 families, Navajo families, with the essential need of water. And with that, we are going to be providing them between 40 and 70 gallons of water per day. You talk about impact, guys. You guys are making an impact. With your 25, your 50, with your 100, whatever you're giving, you are making an impact. And I cannot even begin, because not only are we giving them the essential needs of clean water, but we're giving them a healthier lifestyle. We are giving them food on the table, but most of all, we are restoring dignity and self-esteem to these people. And that's the important thing. We also are going to celebrate with these Navajo Indians, because in May, after district conference, and y'all got a flyer on it, we are going to get on a bus. I've already arranged for 55 or so of us to go to the Dilcon area via a nice air conditioned bus. And we are going to head to Flagstaff, Arizona, and we are going to celebrate the good of Rotary with these Navajos. And I hope you'll go with me. If you want to go, let me know. I'll put your name on the list. But I want you to go. I want you to see the people that we are impacting and changing their lives forever. I can tell you that. The second hope that I have for you is to increase the impact of service. You know, we all got hit with COVID this year. We all got it. We all got isolated. And it's now time for us to rejoin, reunite, and develop that cohesiveness that our district has had and has been so well known for so many years. So what I did was, we got a lot of DDF back from all that money we gave, that 1.2 million, you remember? About 750,000 of that was just an annual fund. That's the money that we get back. And with that DDF, we're going to do 3 very impactful projects in our district. And I want our district to come together and do that. So our first district is going to actually base around hunger. And what we're going to do is provide a hot meal as well as staple box of foods for the needy in the Bell and Coryell counties. And how this all came about is, has anybody ever heard of Hot Meals USA? It's a nonprofit based out of Nebraska. And what they do is they kind of have the food trucks. And when there's a disaster or there is a tragedy or something and there's a need for hot food, they immediately go out to those areas that are needful of food and that sort of thing. And we're going to highlight them at Zone Institute in Houston the first week of September. Well, they have said that they would be glad to come back via Lampasas, which is about 300 miles out of their way. But they're going to come back through Lampasas. And we as Rotarians, and I invite you to come and help us, we are going to be feeding those people that need this food, as well as passing out the staple foods that we're going to buy through the Central Texas Food Bank. So I invite you for that. But let me tell you the cool thing about it is that while they're there, they're going to be bringing a display. One of which is going to be an iron lung. How many of you have ever seen a real iron lung? Yeah, well, you're going to be able to see a real iron lung. They're also going to bring a shelter box, as well as they're going to bring a display of Alliance for Smiles. I don't know if you know what that is, but it is a group of people that or an organization that Rotary partners with in dealing with cleft palate and cleft lip, especially in Asia and India. And they're going to bring a big display so that people in the community can see what Rotary does and what we have done. That's the impactful thing. So I hope you'll put September 12th. It's a Sunday afternoon. I hope you'll put that on your list and plan to come down and enjoy the day with fellow Rotarians. My second project is going to be very impactful. I'm not sure if you realize, but there is a very silent predator that works not only in the metropolitan areas of our district and throughout Texas, but also throughout our rural areas, just like Bastrop. And it's called human trafficking. There is this is a huge problem. And because we have I-35 that sits right through our district, and that's the main corridor for human trafficking. And so what we are going to do, I felt like, is carry the banner to fight this horrible injustice. And what we're planning, this year I've developed a brand new committee. It's called Community Service Committee. And Clarence Enox is my my district chair. And he is working diligently on developing a project. Right now we're looking at possibly a three Saturday symposium where we focus on the victim maybe for one. We're really not sure where we are, but as we really pull this thing together, I will let Norm and all of you know, because not only will we be doing big events, I hope, but we will also want you spreading the word through flyers and things like that throughout your community. And I'm not sure if you have an Interact Club here, but we also need to get into the schools because this is where the human traffickers are going. They're going into the middle schools and into the high schools. In fact, I don't know if you realize, but on a given basis, there is a global slavery index done. 40.3 million people are enslaved on a daily basis. And the sad part is, some of them are under the age of 4. That's the tragedy. So that I will be reaching out to you to help me with that project. And then our third project, and this is something Norm's probably going to be interested in as well, is with the money that we have, we want to celebrate our newest area of focus. Do you know what that is? Our seventh area of focus. We used to have 6. Environment. It's the environment. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building 32 benches. And with that bench, we're going to also include a tree for our environment, as well as a little library. And for the first 32 clubs that tell me they want a bench, I'm going to put your name on the list, but you got to tell me. But you want a bench? You got it. You got it, Norm. And all you're going to have to do is put it somewhere. But we hope that you'll put it somewhere where it'll be impactful. It will showcase Rotary so people will understand the great things that we do. So that's the 3 big projects that I want us to participate in as far as a district. Remember, when we do more, we grow more. The more you're seen in your community, the more you're going to grow. I can promise you that. My third hope for you, and probably my most important hope for you, is to help you as Rotarians understand why you're a Rotarian and not a member. There is a huge difference, I can tell you. You know, we talk about falling membership, and honestly, I'm sick about it. I'm sick of hearing that Rotary's falling in membership because I don't understand why that's happening. You know, it's really funny. When I moved to Rockdale and I started a clinic, I couldn't get into Rotary fast enough. In fact, no one asked me to be a Rotarian. I went to a Rotarian and I said, I want to go to Rotary. Will you please take me? Because I knew that Rotary is where the movers and the shakers of the community are. That's where I was going to get clout for my business. It was all about me initially. I was a member at that point. It was all about me, what Rotary was going to do for me. But it wasn't until Governor Tim Buckley, and hopefully you remember Tim, came to my club, and back then we had a spouse project, and Gail was going to be taking wheelchairs to Mexico to the neediest of the population there. Well, being a physical therapist, I said, oh God, that's right up my alley. I can fit wheelchairs all day long. So Larry and I went with about 20 other Rotarians from this district, and it was then when I saw what Rotary does that I became a Rotarian. And that's why I want you to understand today why you are a Rotarian. What we did was we would go out, actually, we went out into homes, but we also had Rotary had a community center, and we had about 100 wheelchairs this first day. And so my impact came when I was standing in the courtyard and I saw this middle-aged couple walking in a struggling way with their full-grown 18-year-old son, Jose, who had spastic cerebral palsy. And I don't know if you know what a spastic cerebral palsy is, but they almost stay extended most of the time. And here they were trying to carry him because they had heard the Rotary was giving the gift of mobility. And their son had never had a wheelchair in his entire life. He had basically been constricted to his home for 18 years. Outside of struggling to carry him, that was the only way they ever could move him. But now the Rotarians were giving him the gift of Rotary. That's what this is all about. When I saw the tears of that mother, when I saw that happy smile of Jose, I knew I was doing the right thing. And that's what you do every day, no matter whether you go around the world or not. Every day you're creating a smile on somebody's face because you have given the gift of Rotary through the foundation giver. That's the impactful part. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that's why I've given each one of you a gift from me and from the district. It's a pin that I would love for you to wear every day. I want you to share your gift of Rotary through membership as well as your giving. Because when you wear that pin, I can guarantee you somebody's going to ask you about that pin. I tell you, I wear my pin wherever I go, especially when I travel abroad, because people abroad understand what Rotary does. Because Rotary has been doing global grants around the world. It opens doors. But I can tell you in this country, it's going to open doors too, through means of membership, if nothing else. So I encourage you to wear your pin every day. Invite people to become a part of us. I look at Rotary as a luxury because most of the time people feel like they have to be invited. You don't have to be invited. You can be blunt like me and just go ask for it. But the important part is I need you to share it. Why are we not sharing it? Are we selfish? Are we afraid somebody's going to tell us no? Well, that hadn't been my case. I don't mind asking people, would you like to come to Rotary and just see what we do? I'd love to share that gift with you. It's so important, and I hope, and I will challenge you to do that. So, all in all, I truly love Rotary because I know what it does. I know how it affects people, and I know how it accomplishes things, whether we realize it or not. Rotary is about giving. Rotary is about something bigger than ourselves. And that's why we as Rotarians need to share our gift of Rotary. And as President Shaker says, each one bring one. He is challenging each of us to bring one member. And I hope that you will take up his challenge. My last and my fourth hope for the district is certainly to rekindle the energy that Rotary creates whenever it's present. And it is. I don't know if you've ever walked into a room of Rotarians, but there's something buzzing, I can guarantee you. And that's what we have to rekindle. And that's why I'm so glad to see you here. I thought, oh my gosh, they'll never be able to hear me because y'all were talking and I was going, oh, they'll never be able to hear me. But you know what? That's because y'all were so glad to see each other. And it is about fellowship and creating that sense of family all over again. And that's what I want to do. So what I have done, as I mentioned, is we have developed a community service committee. And what this committee is going to do is a number of things for Nora as president and your board and your membership. First of all, we have developed a speaker bureau. If you're looking for a speaker, you don't have one, go to the service bureau on the website of our district, www.rotarydistrict5870.org. It's at the very top, you can't miss it. Or if you had a great speaker, share it with us. Whether they can want to do it via Zoom or want to go there to another club in person and share their program, share your programs with other district club members, if you will do that. Secondly, there is a new tab under the service tab on the website, and I brought my iPad so I can share it with Norman with the board. But there's service tab. Go under the service tab, and it says service projects. If you're doing a great service project, share it with the district. Somebody else may want to do that project. Or if you're looking for a new project, go to that projects tab, and it will give you a list of projects that you can do within your own club. It's a great resource for you. How many of you remember Friendship Exchange? I understand it was a part of the district at one time. It's kind of like youth exchange. Well, what we are reinstigating it. Leslie Bagby is the coordinator. And what we're going to do is I'm working with my cohort up in 5580, which is the North Dakota, Minnesota, Canada district. And they have invited us to come up and spend 10 days with them. So 10 of us, whoever decides they want to do this, we are going to travel up to North Dakota and visit them, as well as they're going to come down, 10 of them are going to come down, and we as District 5870 are going to show them a little Southern hospitality. So as we get everything together, I will be contacting the presidents to see if some of you would like to serve as host, or if you want to go travel. I'll give you your choice. And then last but not certainly least, what is the fifth rule of the four-way test? Really?
Is it fun?
What?
Is it fun?
And your new member knew that. I am impressed. She should be the fun chair of this club. Good girl. That's exactly what. Will it be fun? You know, we do great service projects. We do great service in our community. But sometimes we forget about that fun. So I've had a lot of people come to me and say, "Girl, how do we spruce up our clubs? How do we make them more interesting?" And I thought, why don't we create a fun subcommittee? So that's what we've done. So we have a member out of the Georgetown Club. She and her committee developed some great ideas of how you can spruce up your club meetings, give you some new fundraising ideas, as well as how to have more upbeat socials. Have more socials. You don't always have to come and sit and ring the bell and do the four-way test all of that. Sometimes you might want to just do a project at a club meeting. Spruce it up, change it up. Create an environment where you want people, or people will want to be a part of you. You've got to recreate that energy level. And that's what this is about. I also want you to educate your new members. Do your new members realize that they are part of an organization that is made up of 1.2 million people from around the world that have given billions of dollars to fight and prevent COVID, polio, and other deadly diseases, provided clean water where there was none, provided proper education where it may not have even existed, and certainly helped reduce unnecessary deaths of mothers and children. That's what we're a part of. That's what we do. And not only do our new members need to know that, but our seasoned, I will never call us old members, got that, never. Our seasoned members also need to be reminded of what we are and who we are and what we do. And that's important. So please talk about foundation, talk about what goes on around the world because of those $25, $50, $100 you give every year. I appreciate the honor of being here today. It's something that once I became a Rotarian, I dreamed about one day hopefully being. And I promise you, I'm going to make this year an eventful one. I may drag you into the future, but I'm going to drag you because we're going to have some fun this year. But I also have a request of you. If you are not growing, if your foundation giving is failing, and if your service opportunities are going by the wayside, you need to take a long, hard look at what's going on in your club. I don't know, passion, energy, maybe, I don't know what it is, but what I encourage you to do is to possibly do a club membership survey. And Norm and I have already talked about this at 3 Pets and Pets. It's important that you as members tell him and your board what's important to you. You know, a new quote of mine, no change, yeah, no change. If you keep doing the same old, you're going to keep getting the same old. And that's not the way it needs to be, because President Shaker has said, this is a year of change. Be the change maker. You've got to change it up, spruce it up, liven it up, whatever it is. If you're not getting the results you want in your club, you need to think about it and think about how you can change to make things better. A small change is important. You don't do anything drastic, please. You'll lose members over it. Don't do anything drastic. Make small changes, because that will make some people walk away, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, well, in closing, you know, I've been challenged for about 24 months. Shannon's been challenged for about 12 months already. So what I decided, I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to be a change maker. I'm going to challenge you to make a difference, whether it's in one person's life or hundreds. I don't care. I want you to make a difference. And I want you to give that gift of Rotary, whether it is through giving the gift of membership or it's giving to the foundation, whatever that is. I want you to give the gift of Rotary. You truly have the power because you're a Rotarian. Don't think that you don't have power, because you do. You have 1.2 million people behind you. And I can guarantee you, we are behind you. Helen Keller so eloquently said, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And that is so true. So on June 30th, 2022, when Norm and I hang up our hats as presidents and governors, I want us as a club and as a district to be able to say our community and our world is a better place because Rotary served and changed lives. I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak, and I look forward to standing by you throughout the year, through the year, doing some of these district projects, because we have served and we have changed lives. Thank you very much. Yeah, I like the question. I hope you have lots of questions.
So I was glad to hear that you have focused on human trafficking, because as a club, we also do things like that a couple of years ago. We even had an open forum one day and to kind of create community awareness. And we were starting to do things in the pandemic hit, and had it all shut down. We lost all that momentum. So I'm glad the district is picking that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ride your coattails.
Yes.
Get back.
Good. Well, and ironically, when I had asked Leonard's going to be my district community service chair. Human trafficking was not in my thoughts, but he is a retired law enforcement officer, and he worked with human trafficking. So he has a lot of insight into it. Actually, he has some connections. We're working with Fernbound, which is based out of Waco. And her name is Susan, I forgot her last name, but we're planning on having our face-to-face visit with her and see if we can maybe work some things through her. She's got a lot of connections, not only in Central Texas and the state, but actually nationally. And then there is a woman out of San Antonio, it's called Truckers Against Traffickers. And we're hoping to possibly do some things through them as well. So we're looking for this to be a truly impactful project, and we will need your club to help us because we need to reach out to every community. Because as I said, it's not just happening in big cities, it's actually happening in our small towns. So that's why that is a very important project for me.
You may not be aware because they're very secretive for obvious reasons, but there's a place here in Bastrop County called the Refuge that brings in girls that have been human trafficked, and they have facilities and help for them.
That's good to know. You have my card. If you would like to kind of serve as kind of a community member on here, I'm glad to add you. It sounds like we have a good interest in this. And I can get it to Clarence, so you can send it to my notes yourself. But it sounds like you've done some research, and it's all, why reinvent a wheel if it's already been invented? So that'd be great. Any other questions? Oh, come on. I know. No, I got paid nothing to do this job. Yeah, how much do I make? No other questions?
We didn't get to hear from Shannon.
Shannon, yeah. Stand up, introduce yourself, please.
Like I said, I'm sorry it took me a little while to get here. I found this one person walking around out there and said, do you have any idea? She said, I think they're at 602. And I said, what is a 602? But I found you. I'm just so excited to be here today. I spent last year as the nominee, hoping to be able to wander around behind Rick as Beverly was trying to join, and then because of COVID, we all know what last year was like. And so I'm so excited this year to actually be able to go alongside her as much as I can and visit with and see all the clubs and meet members. And I'm just really happy to be here with you all today. So you're going to see me around for a while. I'll be here next year.
What are you from?
I'm from Pflugerville, so just off the road, not too far.
You're walking a weird place.
I am.
Oh, that's cute.
I wear shirts.
But there's nothing better on Tuesdays, and then it's up all the way to Bastrop. You can join us by Zoom, and we record, like this can be
Yeah,
recorded.
that's great. Yeah. I love the idea of hybrid. It's allowing for, I don't want to say outsiders, but outside of our district members to join with us. There's certainly members that can't be with us. I can still keep in touch, and that's the important thing. So I'm interested in your setup. We need to talk about that because I have so many clubs wanting to do hybrid, and it looks like you've got something working.
It's like a work in progress.
Yeah, well, everything is. All. That's the thing about change.
Well, we have to get this. We're gonna have electric motorized screen come down there.
Oh, wow.
So this is gonna be gone. And,
That's great.
and so the projector in the ceiling,
Yeah,
we're gonna have the speaker system. That is a great thing. That by itself is
I know, that's why I'm
That's
interested.
$500,
Oh,
but it's worth it.
not a lot of clubs can afford that.
It's a one-time purchase.
I was gonna ask if our guest had a question, or Ming
Ming?
had a question.
Ming, do you have any questions?
Well, thank you very much for the great talk. I appreciate it. I don't have any additional questions. I'm very excited and eager to know about how other districts are doing. I become a Rotarian when I was in Tennessee, and then I moved to Canada. So I have some experience at different Rotary clubs. Your experience about like you want to be part of the Rotary club, but you don't know how to enter it. So my story is I usually just go online and show up.
Be bold, right, man? Just be bold. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, okay, let's move into the four-way test.
Four-way test of things we think, say, or do. First. Second. Third. Fourth.
And 5. Thank you. Board meeting, anyone who wants to participate is welcome to attend. The, the usual suspects are encouraged strongly to attend.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Meg.
Thanks, Kim.
Hey, we'll see you.
Yeah.
Going to your meeting.
Oh, everybody's just watching. I'll be back.
How are you?
Yep.